When you are born, your work is placed in your heart. So, what is your work? Your purpose? Are you living it out the way your heart urges you to? Let's get into that right after this.
Let's do this.
It's showtime.
You're listening to the Thoughts of a Blog Queen podcast.
These are just my thoughts.
With your host, LaRae Renee.
A woman, her thoughts, and a mic.
Are you ready? Check this out.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are tuned in to yet another entry of Thoughts of a Blog Queen podcast. I am your host, LaRae Renee, also known as Blog Queen. So as you can see by the title, we're just going to dive right into this. I'm not going to do a whole lot of beating around the bush on this one. This is part 2 of Changing the Narrative, and this time we're going to talk about changing the narrative of her success. So I said part 2, which means there is a part 1. So if you haven't already tuned to part 1, then you need to go back to the last entry, start there, and then come back to this one. So happy Sunday, you guys. If you're listening to this on the day that it dropped, which is Self-Care Sunday, I hope you guys are doing something for yourself. I hope you're loving on yourself. I hope that you are just feeling really good today. I hope that you are taking care of yourself, getting a good wash, a good hair day. For me, Sunday is usually my hair day. So I always do a very thorough wash day routine starting from the detangling pre-poo all the way down to the deep conditioning, and then I got to twist that thing up. So yeah, it's the whole thing. I have to prepare. I got to get my tea together. I got to get all of the things, and yeah, it's a whole day. So whatever you guys like to do for Self-Care Sunday, I hope that you partake, and I hope that you enjoy it and get your mind right, getting ready for this week that we're getting ready to start. And yeah, I hope everybody has a successful week. So, let's move forward. Let's talk about changing the narrative of our success, right? Because, I think that for a lot of us, we want to achieve success, right? That's what we want to do. We want to achieve success, and we want to get there. And the thing about it is, a lot of times we want to get there, and we want to get there quick, fast, and hurry. And we can't always do that. But let's back up. Let's back up to the quote that I gave you. So this is a quote that I learned in this book that I'm reading. And the book, I'll tell you guys about the book in a second. But the quote that was within the book is by Khalil Gibran. I might be saying it wrong. I don't know. But the quote again says, when you are born, your work is placed in your heart. So what is your work? Your purpose? Are you living it out the way your heart urges you to? So when I stumbled across that, I immediately thought about the fact that I was going to be talking about success, right? And how, for me, I feel like we should be connecting our success with living out our life's purpose. Not necessarily the money that we make, the homes that we live in, the cars that we drive, the number of digits in the bank account. Those things are all, granted, the results of success, yes, but I really feel like we need to look at success a little bit differently. And so this book, let me tell you guys about this book. So the book is it's by Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it is The 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace. So I'm currently reading this, and I'm taking my time with it. And it's not a hard read. The book isn't that big at all, but and I think there's only 150 some odd pages in the book. And he breaks the book down in 10 secrets, right? And so I'm really taking my time with going through the different secrets, and I'm really trying to pick apart the gems, because he's dropping some gems in this book. I actually put this and talked about it on my stories on my social media. But so he talks about something, and it just made me really think, like, okay, he talked about how we all were born on this earth at a very specific time, right? And he talks about how we're going to die at a very specific time. And in other words, everything was destiny. Everything was supposed to be the way that it was supposed to be. We came here at a particular time for a very particular reason, and we're going to leave here at the time that we're supposed to leave here. And so he is talking about how he says, don't die with your music still in you. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was so beautiful because he's talking about, like, you know, like, you have something to share with people and you need to get it out of you. You need to really, like, hone in on what it is that you feel your purpose is, what you're passionate about, because I feel like that's the real success, when you can really, and he even talks about, he was like, whatever it is that you're passionate about, he was like, I almost guarantee you that you'll be able to create some type of service from it and make a living of it. He's like, he says that in the book. He's like, I guarantee you'll be able to, whatever it is that you're really passionate about. But this can't just be something that, you know, that you just like to do. You have to really be passionate about it, which means you can see yourself doing this thing without even making any money from it, right? That's passion. If you're not really, you know, you're not making anything, it's just something that you really love to do. It's something that comes out of your heart. It's something that you feel. It's something that you put effort and energy and time and creativity and thought into. So these are the things that you would be considered to be passionate about, and there is something very specific to you, something very specific for me. So let's just talk about me, since I'm on the platform while I'm here. So for me, writing and sharing my words and my thoughts and doing that in the most creative way that I possibly can, that's what I've been passionate about. I've been writing and blogging for years, and I mean for years. And I have not always attempted to try to monetize it. I just very recently tried to actually really go into monetizing, aside from me, you know, writing and getting ready to publish and things like that. But up until this point, writing was just something that I just wanted to do. And for a lot of us, you know, we're in this day and age right now where we're in the time of the content creator, right? So everybody's creating content, everybody's trying to build up some sort of platform. And you can tell just by looking at a person's platform and what they create that they're passionate about what they do. You can tell by the amount of effort and time and creativity and thought and aesthetic that they put into the content that they're creating. You can tell that they're like passionate about it, right? You can tell it's something that they are taking serious. You can tell that it is something that they are doing. They're not just trying to put anything together. They're really actually taking their time to think of something that is going to fit for whatever it is they're trying to do in that moment, right? So that's what he was talking about in the book. He was talking about how you're going to be passionate about it and you're going to be able to make a living from it, right? So think about content creation, right? People are actually have come to the point where they are able to quit their jobs and they are doing content creation full time. And this is something that they are passionate about doing. So it makes perfect sense. I feel like when we talk about success and we talk about like the measure of it, I feel like it's going to look different to everybody. It's going to be, it just can't be the same. And we really have to get out of the phase and the bad habit of looking at others and seeing what others have and the pace that other people are going and the things that other people are doing, and looking at that and measuring it up against what we're doing, where we're at, how far we've come, what we've accomplished, and and measuring that as the success we should have, because that's not going to be the case. It's not going to look like what somebody else, my success isn't going to look like what someone else's success means. And I mean that in the most very specific way, because obviously, like, yeah, two people can have the same amount of money in their bank account, right? But that doesn't mean that they got there the same way. Doesn't mean that they accumulated this money in the same way, right? Because you can have somebody that is working a 9 to 5, and at the end of the year, they've made $100,000 or $200,000 or whatever, and they did this at the expense of them working at a job that they absolutely hate. That is, they have no work-life balance. They are tired. They are drained. They are in a toxic environment. And they, at the end of the year, their salary was this $150,000 or whatever. And that's what's in their bank account, right? And then you can go and you can look at the content creator who is creating the things that she loves to create, and is really able to build a platform that is aesthetically pleasing and that is reaching the eyes of these big brands, and she's getting these payouts and she's hitting these big brand deals, and at the end of the year she's made $100,000 too. Well, who would you consider to be more successful? The content creator who made $150,000 at the end of the year doing something that she loves, she has fun, she had freedom to create whatever she wanted to create, and she made that $150,000, or the employee that works at this company that's been around for years and years and years and made $150,000 and is stressed out, tired, complaining, going to happy hour every day after work, is aggravated all the time, is overworked, and got the same $150,000. Who's more successful? Who is more successful? It's gonna be the person who's being more fulfilled, right? Because we want happiness in this lifetime. We want happiness. We want to be fulfilled with things that bring us joy. We want to be fulfilled with things that we're free to do. We want to have the freedom to create. As a creative, like, that's what brings joy, when you're able to go in and you're able to do something. So that same content creator that, was able to build up her own platform the way that she wanted to build it up, and then was able to bring in the deals that paid her what her platform was worth, paid her worth. She was able to say, yes, I'll accept this, or no, I won't accept this, versus the employee who has no other choice but to follow by the policy, show up at this time, clock out at this time, overtime if overtime is allowed. If no overtime is allowed, there is no overtime. You may or may not be able to take this PTO. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who's more successful? So I really just feel, and again, this is connected to the passion. This is connected to the purpose. So I want to talk about changing the narrative for our success, and I basically want to get you guys to understand and to see that you are able to do this by looking at what you're already doing and where you are right now, exactly where you are right now, and think about where you want to go, what else you want to do, what would bring you the most happiness, what would fulfill you. Figuring those things out, being very clear and intentional about reflecting on those things and figuring them out for exactly what they are, and using that information that you've gathered from that time that you reflected on it, using that information to figure out what your next steps are. If you have done things a certain type of way and the results are not yielding what you would like for them to yield, then it's not a successful plan, and we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to figure something else out, right? We need to do something else different, because we want to bring the success that we want to bring. We want success to be what we define success as, not what success is defined as for the next person, or what we see on social media as what success is, or what we hear on these podcasts is what they say success is supposed to look like. No. What does success look like to you? What is success going to feel like? Success should be something that you feel. Not only is it just something that's tangible that you could lose, and by lose, I mean things that can be taken away from you, right? Like, you think you're successful because you're able to, purchase this bag, but that bag can be taken from you. That bag can be damaged. That bag can be lost at any given time, right? So I'm talking about the success in terms of you feel the success. The success is making you happy. These are the things that we're looking for, and these are the things that I want you to really reflect on. So, in terms of talking about how we acquire our success, we have to look at what we're doing. Again, we have to look at what we've been doing and where exactly we are right now. And then we got to think about, like, okay, I probably need to change up some of the things that I'm doing, right? Because if you want different results, you got to start doing something different. So let's talk about our habits. Let's talk about the daily habits that we have, the weekly habits, or whatever. But let's just talk about some of the things that we're doing on a regular basis that are going to contribute to us being successful, right? So for starters, y'all, like I said, mindset. Y'all are going to hear me talk a lot about mindset on this podcast, but the mindset, it starts there. It always starts there. Anything that we're trying to do, no matter what, I say that very clearly and confidently, no matter what it is that you're trying to do, mindset is always going to be the first stop on this journey. We got to get that right. We got to get that adjusted. We got to make sure that that's where it needs to be before we do anything. So we adjust the mindset to say, okay, we trying to acquire some success. This is the frame of mind we need to be in, right? So we're going to start there. We're going to start with adjusting our mindset for the better. And then once you adjust the mindset, then everything else kind of feeds off of that. It's like a domino effect, right? Because then you're going to start doing things when you set it in your mind, okay, I want to change things. I need more success. I need to be happier. I need to acquire more things. And I'm going to start now. I'm going to start here. This is what I'm going to do to be intentional about it. Once you start doing that, then you're going to start doing things like you're going to start waking up earlier, right? Because you know that if you want to be successful at this body that you want, but if you know that, like, the routine and the schedule that you've been on so far isn't really allowing you or it's not allowing you to fit in the energy that you need to be able to work on whatever this successful body looks like, right? Because you're getting up at the time that, where you only have enough time to get yourself ready, get yourself and the kids ready, or whatever the case may be. And then you got to start work. And then when you're working all day long, 8 hours or whatever it is that you do for work, and then by the time you get off, if you have kids, you got to tend to the kids. You got to get the dinner ready. You got to get them ready for their next day. Or if you don't have kids or you have grown kids, by the time you get off, sometimes you're just too tired because you worked all day and you're just not feeling it, right? So then you move into what am I going to do for the next 30 days, the next 60 days, right? Your mindset, when you change your mindset, that's where you need to start thinking. You need to start, okay, I need to do something a little bit different, and I really want to work on my body. I really want to be able to get in better shape. What am I going to do for the next 30 days to be able to help me to do that? So you might wake up earlier than what you normally wake up. So if you normally don't get up until 7 o'clock, maybe you're going to attempt to try to get up at 6 o'clock. At least set the alarm clock and see what happens. At least set the alarm and just try and see if you get up. Because then if you get up the first day and then you do it the second day, it will become a habit if you allow it to become a habit. If you just give yourself that extra push to go ahead and do it, right? And then get that workout that you're trying to incorporate into your daily routine. Get that knocked out first, right? So you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. You proceed on, because sometimes depending on what it is that you're trying to do, you only really need to get a good 30 to 45 to an hour workout tops. If you're doing it the right way and you find a workout that's good for you, that works for you, and that targets the goals, targets the areas that you're trying to work on, you can find something that you can knock out first. And then you proceed with your day the same way that you normally would do. But guess what? You've adjusted something, you've changed your mindset, and you've changed up a habit, which is getting up earlier, and you've added something else to your life that you weren't doing before. And now, guess what? You're going to be successful at that. Right? So that's one thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do to bring the success that you want in your life is to practice gratitude, right? Like, that's an energy thing, and I want you to really take that serious. Be grateful for where you are at this time. Be grateful for that, even if it isn't the best place. I always like to, when you think about things, I always try to think about it in a sense that things could always be worse, right? Things could always be worse. So, just be grateful, right? And be grateful that you are in a position right now to where you are aware of what you want. You are aware of what you need. You are aware of what you want to do, and be grateful for the ability to adjust the mindset to move forward to it, right? Be grateful for the discipline that you have to not be doing some of the things that you could be doing that will prevent you from acquiring that success, right? Because there's a lot of shit you could be doing to keep you from gaining that success, right? You could be out here just running amok in these streets and not focusing on the goals and the task at hand, which is to bring in the success. So be grateful for that. Be grateful for all of the knowledge that you've gained so far. Be grateful for the skills that you've learned at the job that you're trying to maybe not have to work at for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Be grateful for the skills that you've acquired that you're going to be able to take with you when you build your own business. Right? So always find the silver line and find the good. It's mindset. It is 100% always gonna be the mindset. Right? So we're waking up early. We're practicing gratitude. We're gonna talk about who we're surrounding ourselves with, right? So in order to want to bring that success into our life, I feel like we should be kind of trying to surround ourselves with it, right? We should hang around like-minded people, which means you may have to, and I probably will touch on this a little bit in part 3 when we talk about changing the narrative of our relationships, but I'm not going to go too far in it. But yeah, we should be surrounding ourselves with like-minded people. And even who we're following, on social media, we should be following and trying to connect and network with the people that, not that we're trying to mimic their success, but that we look at them and we see that what they're displaying. And let me just say this, be very careful about how you are manifesting these connections into your life, because everything that you see isn't always what you see, right? Things are, sometimes people are only going to show the good, right? So just make sure that you are surrounding yourself with what you feel like should be the best. Use your intuition. And if you know there's people in your life, real life people, not people that you follow on social media, but if you know that there's people in your life that are preventing you from living that are preventing you from acquiring the success, they have bad habits and you fall into those bad habits when you're with these people, these are the things you need to be mindful of, because this is where you need to kind of change the narrative, meaning you're not going to want to spend as much time with these people if they're not adding the value, the extra value that you need to gain that the success, or at least get on the path to gaining the success that you want. And you'll know this by their own habits. What are they doing? Like, come on, this is simple. This is really simple. But I just feel like if we start to pay attention to those types of things and become more aware of just what we want in general, it's gonna start becoming to where you can't even avoid it. It's like, yeah, this doesn't even feel right. Things are not going to feel the same anymore. You're going to want to do something different because it's just not even going to feel right. And that's how you know. That is how you know you are on the right path, right? So you want to, and people that are negative, people that are always negative, always complaining, people who are just extremely pessimistic all the time, these are the people that you don't want to consistently surround yourself with. You want to surround yourself with people that are optimistic, people that think that, with the right tools, with the right plan, or the right connections, anything is possible. And if you don't have anybody like that in your life, listen, you need to use these networking platforms for what you should be using them for. You shouldn't just be using these social media platforms to see what's going on with your celebrities. You should be using them to be trying to connect with people that are like-minded, connect with people that you see as connections. I'm telling you right now, on my social media platforms, one in particular, like, I have began to, like, when I first got on it, like, I was following all these different celebrities, and I was just kind of like, why am I like, that's not what I want to use this tool for, right? Like, yeah, I could be following all of these singers or, whatever, but at the end of the day, singing ain't my ministry. So I don't need to sit here and try to follow the life and the lifestyle and see what this particular singer is posting on her TikTok or her Instagram, because that's not going to help me. That's not going to help me at all. I need to be trying to find some entrepreneurs, some content creators, some brand builders who are doing something. I see they're following. I see the aesthetic of what they're doing. I see, like, they're dropping this is what we need to be filling our feet up with. We need to be filling our feet up with realistic, realistic connections and people that inspire us and motivate us and push us, whether they know they're pushing us or not. So yeah, you can't just be connected to people who don't see the vision. And remember that everybody isn't going to be able to see your vision, and they're not supposed to. And honestly, you shouldn't even be sharing the whole vision with everybody. Right? You be very mindful and careful about that. But people who can see the vision or make sense of the vision, these are the people that are optimistic, and these are the people that you need to stay connected to. So that is another way to attempt to change the narrative for the success that you have in your life. Another thing that I was reading an article in terms of building success and acquiring success, and it said that you should pick out 3 goals that you prioritize daily. So 3 things that will at some point, even if it's in a very micro way, but 3 things to prioritize daily that lead or are connected to the success that you want, whatever that is. Like I said, everybody's idea or everybody's goal for success is going to be different. But whatever yours is, there are 3 things that you should be doing every single day that are in connection to whatever that success is. And you're going to practice doing those 3 things every day. These are priorities. The same way your skincare routine is a priority, the same way you showing up for work is a priority, the same way you making sure you hop on this conference call, you go to this doctor's appointment, you go to the gym, all of these priorities and things that you make sure that you are going to do for the day, the three goals that you have, make those priority too, whatever they are. If in any way they are connected to the success that you want, make sure that you are prioritizing them for your daily plan. So like we were just talking about, becoming physically fit. If you know that this is something that you want to do and you have an end goal, you have a time frame, you have something that you want to do for yourself, like make showing up at the gym or make doing a home workout, make that one of your priorities. Like, there's no sacrificing it. It has to get done. The same, like it has to. Just like when you have a dentist appointment and you know that you have to show up for that dentist appointment, these 3 goals make it. And again, I can never say this enough. If you don't get into the space where you start using that it doesn't necessarily have to get done, that type of mindset, because that's not going to get you closer to your success. And I'm going to be real transparent with you. Like, that is where I have failed in the past, where I let the things that I wanted to do, my dreams and things, I let that, it was like, well, this isn't bringing in money. This isn't paying my bills. So it's like, I got to do what's going to pay the bills, which is I'm going to show up for work. But I didn't make the time to fit in my writing, at least trying to get a chapter done or get a blog posted. I wasn't fitting that in, and I wasn't making it a priority because I didn't look at it as that. I just looked at it as something that I have an option to do. We don't want the option. Right? We don't want the option. We want to get it done. So hopefully y'all are still with me. I'm going to wrap this up real soon. So we've talked about choosing the 3 goals to prioritize every single day. We talked about surrounding yourself with the most optimistic and goal-inspiring people that we can find. And we talked about getting up earlier, right? And think about it, to connect those. When you get up earlier in the day, then like I said, that's when you have time to fit those three things that we're going to prioritize from this day forth. The earlier you get up, the more time you make sure that you have to fit those things in. Who says your day can't start at 5 o'clock? Who says your day can't start at 6 o'clock? Oops, sorry, y'all. Who says the day can't start at 6 a.m.? Who says the day has to start right before you get ready to go to work? Some of the most successful people in the world, they are up. They're up. They're up and they're starting their day and they're getting their day done. So that's another thing. Penciling in your time to relax. So this is something that make sure that even though we're trying to accomplish goals and we have certain things that we want to do, make sure that we're still finding the me time that we need. We're still getting the rest that we need. We're still making sure that we're not about to lean into burnout. We're not overdoing it. We're not pushing ourselves too far. You still got to take care of yourself. That's still a big part of anything that you want to accomplish. Making sure you're taking care of yourself, pouring into yourself, making sure you're not trying to pour from an empty cup, making sure you're taking that time to replenish and fill yourself back up, however that looks. Rest is a big thing. A lot of times when we have these businesses and we're on the go and we're just trying to get things in, go, we're lacking in that. We're not prioritizing the self-care. So make sure that you're adding that in. And that can also be one of the three things that we're going to make sure that we prioritize from this day forth. That might be one of the three. Right? So, another thing that I think that we can do to help us with the success that we want and changing the narrative from lack of success to more success is keeping our spaces that we're actually trying to work in and that we're actually trying to build and create in. Make sure that we are keeping these spaces organized. We're keeping the clutter out of these spaces, right? Because it gets to be chaotic, and we want clear hearts and clear minds and clear spaces. And I promise you, I live by this. I swear by this. When you, and I've talked about this before, when you clear out that clutter, in your workspace, your home, your closets, when you start getting rid of stuff and you start clearing out clutter, there is something that mentally happens. There is a shift. Y'all, there is a shift that happens when you start clearing out clutter, and I feel it. I felt it before. I live by this. I believe it. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it feels like that, but it just changes things. It changes things. The space that you occupy the most, like if you're home, if you do a lot of the things that you're doing, if you work from home, you create from home, like whatever, when you start clearing out things that you no longer need in this home and in this workspace, it's office space, whatever it is, when you start clearing that out, it is like a weight is lifted out of it. It's like you can feel the space and the flow of where the creativity can go, where the building can go. You can feel it. So keep your spaces the way you want your mind to feel, because this is where you're gonna be at. So you see how that makes sense? This is where you're gonna be. So you need to make sure the space feels the way you need your mind to be. Because how are you going to think and create and come up with these new bomb ass ideas if you got so much going on in your mind? And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, if you got all this stuff going on in your mind, you probably got a lot of clutter and stuff around you too, or you could probably reorganize, change up the energy, the flow of the energy. Even if you don't have a clutter in the space that you're at, move things around. One thing I can remember about my childhood with my mom is my mom was always moving furniture around. She was always changing up the way her bedroom looked, the way the living room looked. She was always readjusting. And then as we got older, we started getting in the habit of doing that in our own bedrooms. We would change the way where the bed was, where the dresser was, or whatever. We would just change after we would clean up for the day. Like we would just change, and it always felt different. I can remember when she used to change the living room around, and it would just be clean in there, and it would be organized, and all the clutter from the week before was gone, and the furniture was moved, and she vacuumed under this, and she once everything was changed around in the living room, when you went in there, it just felt different. You could feel the energy shift. You could just feel it. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. I cannot be the only one that knows this, that knows what I'm talking about, that knows this feeling. And so to this day, that is how I am. I've always gotten into the habit where it's like I feel like I want to be moving stuff around, and then I feel something different, and I'm constantly getting rid of things. I'm constantly donating things and just getting stuff out of my house. Just get it out of here. I don't even need it. Not even trying to sell it. And as much stuff as I've given away over the years, y'all know how much money I could have made from that stuff? Do y'all know how much money I could have made from the stuff that I've given away? But it was just let it go. Just let it go. That's what I was trying to do. Just get it out. and I felt better doing it. So these are some of the things, y'all, I just wanted to talk about to get us to start thinking about what it feels like and what it looks like to try to get on the path to the things that we want in our life to be successful at. This book that I was telling y'all about, I really want you guys to check out the book. Again, this is The 10 Secrets for Success and Inner Peace by Dr. Wayne Dyers. But he was talking about the use of the left brain and the right brain, and how the use of the left brain is where it's more analytical, where you're just thinking about everything and you're just trying to figure things out. But the right side of the brain is where you feel. The right side of the brain is the intuition. The right side of the brain is the side that we think on when we are creating and when we are trying to be inspired, and when we feel something and we're passionate about it. That's that right side of the brain. The right side. Remember that. But just remember that there's something there's something in you, and you can be successful at anything that you want to be successful at. And it's going to take some time. It's going to take some patience. That's all necessary. But you're able to get these things. But you also have to be consistent. You have to be realistic. But when you're passionate about something, those things are kind of like the free add-ons. They come with it anyway. When you're really passionate about it. And if you're not really feeling it, then maybe you're not really as passionate about that particular thing as you thought you were. You might not be as passionate about doing makeup artistry as you are when it comes to acting. Or, you know what I mean? You're just, if you know you're really good at doing makeup and you can like beat that face down, but you've always dreamt about being an actress, and you're making the money doing the makeup, but guess what? Does it feel the same way? Does it feel the same way? Because when you get up there on that stage, or when you go to those auditions, you're gonna put everything in you into that. And I'm not saying that you're not gonna put, effort into doing makeup, but it's just different. It's not the same. It doesn't feel the same. Don't let so much time pass by where you're not thinking about the things that you want to do. You have to, and another thing that comes with that is that you have to be willing to take the risk. And this is not touchy, but this particular topic, when we're talking about taking the risk, for me, this has been a struggle for me too, taking the risk. I'm not always a risk taker. I'm very much a let me be in my comfort zone type of girl, right? Because that's just what I've been used to. That's what I know, right? We can maneuver, we can close our eyes, put a blindfold on, spin around 3 times, but we can still maneuver in our comfort zones after we did all of that, right? Because it's our comfort zones. We know it. We reside there. We live there. We spend most of our time there in the comfort zone. But then, how is anything going to pop off there if we just stay there? We have to be willing to take these risks. And the author of this book, when he was talking about in this particular chapter, he was talking about how we cannot look at failures as a thing. He's basically telling us that like failure is an illusion. When something fails, it's not that it's just the results of something that you attempted. And so what you should be thinking about from there is just collecting the data. Collect the data on what didn't work. Don't think about it as, oh, this is the end all be all. Be like, nah, like, okay, this shit didn't work. What did I do? I did this. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Change up the combination. Like, that's how you start to figure things out. Process of elimination. Y'all, like, ladies, we know this stuff. Y'all already know this. I'm just giving y'all the extra push that you need. Y'all know this. And you're going to be great at it. And you're going to accomplish so much from it. And that's what I want to do. I want you guys to hear this. And I want you to be inspired all over again. I want you to know that, like, the success that you want, if you feel like you haven't been getting it, or you feel like it's been slow in coming, let's just change the narrative of what we've been doing and see if we get something else. See if we can get it popping some other kind of way. Like, y'all know this, and I just, like, it feels like, just from observing some of what I'm seeing on social media and what I'm hearing personally, like, it just feels like people are not exactly where they want to be, including myself. But people are not exactly where they want to be, and they're not, and so they're not claiming the success they should be claiming based off of where they're at. When in reality, what we should be doing is realizing that where we are right now, it actually is success. It actually is the result of a success. It's just, we just got to look at it a little different. We got to change up the definition a little bit. We got to change up the mindset. But there's definitely success that can be pulled from where we're at right now if we look at it the right way. But like I said, when you fail at something or when something doesn't work, we're going to take that as that is the result of something you attempted. And we're going to collect the data from it. And we're going to try this shit again. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try it again. And this time, instead of doing A and B, let's do C and D this time. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's all about. Do some things different. If you want different results, you got to do things differently. That's just the reality of it. There is no way around it. So, ladies, I'm already this is way longer than I wanted to. I really wanted to keep these parts at about 30 minutes, but so I'm going to try my best when I slide over here into part 3. I'm going to try my best to keep it at 30 minutes or so. No promises. But y'all know, if you've been listening long enough, y'all know when I get into it, I get into it. But yeah. So what did we learn from this? What are we taking from this? I dropped a few gems. I hope you collected them. Put them in your pocket. Put them in your purse. Take them with you. If it wasn't a gem, if it was a little, leave it here. Somebody else will use it. Somebody else will find value in it. Just take from this what you feel like will work, what you feel like resonates, what you feel like is good. Just take those things, take those gems, and keep them for yourself. You don't even you can keep them. Take them and keep them. But figure it out and go and apply that. Let's change the narrative for what it is that we want, what it is that we've been doing. And let's go out there and let's get the things that we know we're capable of obtaining. All right? So, sis, I thank you for tuning in. And if you're feeling like you want to be a little bit more supportive than you already are being by tuning into this podcast, please head over to my social media. You can follow me. The links will be down in the description, the show notes. I'm all over the place. Y'all know where I'm at. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on all of the things. But of course, I'm gonna leave y'all the links. But I hope that you guys tuned into this, and I hope that you got something from it. And we're going to wrap up this 3-part series on changing the narrative. And we're going to end this talking about changing the narrative of our relationships, right? So I got a few things I want to talk about in terms of relationships. So that's going to be the 3rd and final part of this series. So yeah, go ahead and prepare for that. But make sure that you go back if you didn't hear part 1 where I was talking about changing the narrative for the peace that we obtain. Go check that out. Subscribe, you guys. If you're tuning in to me on Apple Podcasts, while you're there, while you're already here, or in Spotify, while I got you here, go ahead and make sure you drop a review for me, you guys. Rate and review. Let me know what you liked about the episode. And yeah, any information that you guys may have in terms of sponsorships, collaborations, advertisements, questions, concerns, comments, please email me blogqueenpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, that's all I got, you guys. So until next time, ladies, peace and blessings.
Let's do this.
You're listening to the Thoughts of a Blog Queen podcast
These are just my thoughts.
with your host, LaRae Renee.
A woman